The Zephyrian High Command had studied Earth for decades before the invasion. They had cataloged every military installation, mapped every city, analyzed every government structure. In their vast databases, humans were classified as a primitive species with rudimentary technology and fragmented social structures. The invasion would be swift, they assured themselves. 3 days, maybe 4. Commander Vexthul stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion's edge, watching the blue marble grow larger on the viewscreen. Behind him, 1,000 vessels formed, the largest invasion fleet the galaxy had ever seen. The Zephyrians had conquered 47 worlds. Earth would be 48. "Begin the pacification protocol," Vexthul commanded, his forearms folding behind his back with practiced authority. The first wave struck major population centers simultaneously. New York, London, Tokyo, Mumbai, pillars of light descended from orbit, intended to shatter human morale in a single devastating blow. The Zephyrians had perfected this technique across dozens of worlds. Other species typically surrendered within hours of witnessing their greatest cities reduced to ash. But something went wrong. As the orbital bombardment continued, Vexthul noticed disturbing reports flooding in from ground teams. Humans weren't cowering in bunkers or fleeing to remote areas. They were fighting back. Not just their military, everyone. Children threw improvised explosives at Zephyrian patrols. Elderly humans set traps in their homes. Office workers turned skyscrapers into fortress-like sniper nests. "Sir," his communications officer reported, uncertainty creeping into his voice. "The humans are adapting. They're using our own weapons against us." Vexthul's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind ours." But the reports kept coming. In the ruins of Detroit, humans had somehow reverse-engineered Zephyrian plasma rifles within hours of the first contact. In the Australian outback, Aboriginal tribes were using traditional hunting techniques to take down advanced scout mechs. In Switzerland, civilians had turned an entire mountain range into a death trap for landing craft. The 3-day conquest stretched into 3 weeks. Dr. Sarah Chen crouched in the rubble of what used to be the CDC headquarters in Atlanta. Around her, a group of survivors had built something the Zephyrians couldn't comprehend, a functioning research lab powered by car batteries and determination. While alien forces controlled the skies, humans worked underground, in sewers, in basements, turning every destroyed building into a laboratory. "The biological agent is ready," she announced to her team, holding up a vial of what looked like ordinary water. "Their immune systems can't handle Earth bacteria. We've weaponized pneumonia." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In Mumbai, software engineers had hacked Zephyrian communication networks using nothing but salvaged smartphones and incredible ingenuity. In Rio de Janeiro, favela residents had turned narrow alleyways into kill zones that claimed hundreds of alien soldiers daily. In Siberia, Russian babushkas were feeding Zephyrian troops soup laced with radioactive isotopes scavenged from old medical equipment. But it wasn't just the resistance that unnerved the Zephyrians. It was how humans fought. Lieutenant Krilvan had seen warfare across the galaxy, but nothing had prepared him for human tactics. Other species fought with honor, following established rules of engagement. Humans fought dirty. They pretended to surrender, then detonated hidden explosives. They used their own dead as weapons, booby-trapping corpses. They fought with a creativity that bordered on insanity. In one incident that would become legend among Zephyrian forces, a human child had approached a patrol with apparent surrender. When the soldiers lowered their weapons, the child had detonated a vest made from fireworks and nails. The blast had been primitive by Zephyrian standards, but effective enough to eliminate the entire squad. The psychological reports from the front lines painted an increasingly disturbing picture. Human prisoners didn't break under interrogation. They laughed. When threatened with death, they spat defiance. When their loved ones were threatened, they became exponentially more dangerous. Commander Vexthul studied the tactical displays with growing unease. What should have been a simple occupation had become a grinding war of attrition. Zephyrian casualties mounted daily, while human resistance only seemed to grow stronger. Every action taken against the human population spawned 10 new resistance cells. The breaking point came during the Battle of Manila. Zephyrian ground forces had cornered what they believed to be the last major human stronghold in Southeast Asia. Overwhelming firepower was brought to bear on the city. But as their forces advanced through the streets, they discovered the truth. The entire city had been turned into one massive trap. Every building was wired to collapse in sequence, creating a domino effect that buried thousands of Zephyrian soldiers under millions of tons of concrete and steel. The humans had evacuated weeks earlier through tunnel systems they'd built, using nothing but hand tools and stolen mining equipment. The message broadcast from the rubble was delivered by a blood-covered human teenager who couldn't have been more than 16 years old. She spoke directly to the Zephyrian fleet orbiting above. "You want our planet? Come and take it. We'll bury you under every brick, drown you in every river, poison you with every breath of our air. This isn't your world to claim. This is our home, and we'll defend it until the last human heart stops beating." The broadcast ended with the girl triggering an explosive that brought down the entire district. 6 months after the invasion began, Commander Vexthul received the order he had never expected to give in his military career: retreat. The Zephyrian High Command had finally grasped what every other species in the galaxy would learn in the decades to come. Humans weren't just another primitive species to be conquered. They were something else entirely. A race that didn't know how to surrender, couldn't be broken by superior technology, and grew stronger under pressure. As the invasion fleet limped away from Earth's solar system, Vexthul stared at the blue planet shrinking behind them. In 6 months, the Zephyrians had lost 60% of their fleet, including their most advanced vessels. The humans had captured enough alien technology to advance their civilization by centuries. Worse yet, they now knew they weren't alone in the universe. The final report filed by Zephyrian intelligence would become required reading in military academies across the galaxy. Species designation: human. Planet: Earth. Classification: avoid at all costs. Note: they do not fight to win. They fight to survive. There is a difference, and that difference will destroy you. Earth remained unconquered, its blue oceans reflecting the light of distant stars. And in the depths of space, other alien civilizations quietly removed a small blue planet from their target lists, having learned a simple truth: you don't break humanity. Humanity breaks you.